Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vietnamese Grand Prix qualifying session. We're just getting set up to get the qualifying started. I'm just going to sort my audios out real nice and quick. So hopefully you're listening to the Arctic Monkeys and the Hunter, for those that care. But we are due to start very shortly. Currently got 13 drivers. And before I forget, because I've already forgotten, I am joined today by my co-commentator, a long-time nemesis, and more recently I like to call friend, Mr. Isaro.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on. I am standing in for who I believe it's normally Prey who does these casts with you on Saturday, right?
Yeah, so Prey's usually like the brains, and I just waffle. So good luck
All
filling
right.
those shoes.
I'm sure I'll do just fine.
So I'm just glad there's somebody here because in my hungover state, I'm not sure I could carry it on my own.
Yeah. I am also slightly hungover myself. Spent yesterday celebrating a friend's birthday, so
Nice.
it's
Well,
gonna be a great little cast between us.
I've had possibly the toughest half term in history of teaching that I've ever had.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Nice. And so yesterday was like the final day of that half term, and it was like we've got to the end, right? Cool. Have some drinks, and then Leeds absolutely smashed Villa, and I was like, okay, have some more drinks.
Yeah.
And now today I feel like having those drinks were not a great idea.
No. Sometimes, the morning after is always rough, but
Yeah.
it's worth it most of the time.
The morning, it's been like 12 hours now, 10 hours since I woke up, and I just still don't feel any better. But we keep going. We have got 14 drivers now, another driver's just turned up. But yeah, we are joined a new track for F1. We won't have raced in this before in VL. It's the Hanoi, I believe it is, the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Quite a polarizing track. What's your opinions on it, Ice?
Well, it's also actually my first time seeing the track. Tuning in, listening to some people as they've been sort of training on it throughout the week, it seems a lot of people don't like the track. My understanding is while it's not a street circuit, the way it's built up makes it basically into a street circuit, so it makes overtaking quite difficult is the sort of general opinion I've been getting from people.
Yeah, it does feel narrow when you're on it. I'm not a huge fan. I just don't like the design of it. I feel like it's just a combination of other tracks put in there.
Yeah.
And poorly.
So obviously, from my point of view, I am purely a spectator, a relatively new one, having only really started watching both virtual F1 and real F1 this season. So for me, the more open tracks that actually allow overtaking and good racing are much more interesting for me. So if what you're saying, like this race maybe doesn't allow the most overtaking, this qualifying session will become very important.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, in VL, the major things usually are that starting position because of the first couple of turns, and then equally avoiding those accidents. People can say you can have mad pace and great times, but ultimately you just have to kind of avoid those incidents. I think it's a skill in itself, really.
It really is, especially this season where they've upped the damage levels, right, to realistic from what I know.
Simulation, yeah, which, again, I've said on cast previously, but I'm still not 100% what it actually means. All I know is that people's tyres tend to fall off when they usually wouldn't. So, yeah, you rightly point out that damage being higher, narrow track, I think Hanoi has the potential to be possibly the worst race for VL in terms of DNFs in this season.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there.
From a spectator point of view, that could make for quite an interesting race in the sense that we will see a lot of crashes, and crashes tends to cause, bit of drama within VL, which is always good fun.
Yeah,
at least
true.
for outside points of view.
I just hope it's more about tomorrow's race really than today, but I just hope that we don't see that many safety cars. Like, if there's going to be accidents, I kind of hope it's one or two spectacular ones rather than like 4 or 5 semi-minor ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because I'd imagine a safety car on this track, it would make it 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I will point out on cast today that we're just going to avoid trying to say the names of the grandstands. It's like where the turns are. It's not actually turn names in Vietnam. I don't know if people know this, but the grandstands are named. But we did like a little talk about it before the cast, and it just sounded like I was an old racist person saying Chinese words. And so
Yeah,
I'll
and my pronunciation would not be any better, if not worse. So just a good idea all around.
If Flyer turns up, he's there. If Flyer is here, if Flyer is doing well, I might treat you all to some Flyer impressions. That usually cheers people up. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, we're just waiting for the go ahead. I believe they're doing the Paul Ricard 9-hour race thingamajiggy, and so I believe that might be causing some slight delays. Hopefully not 9 hours worth of them.
No, I wouldn't be able to sit around for 9 hours. I'm sure we can talk for a while, but even we would be a bit stressed.
I think if there's anyone in VL who's going to be able to talk for 9 hours, I'm definitely backing you. You're definitely on there.
Yeah, just get me started talking about admins, and I'm sure before we know it'll be 9 hours gone.
I mean, does anyone even turn up anymore? Hey. Honestly, like, I said this so many times, and I always feel guilty at the moment because I just can't be around. But I just feel like there's going to be people in the league who just think I'm really lazy and just ignorant. Like, I'm just not. I'm just so busy. Like, I'm sorry.
I don't think that's right. I think most people know that you have an incredibly packed IRL life right now. Maybe the people that don't are the new people, but I'm sure all of the other admins and any member of VL who's been around for a while will be quick to let them know that it's not just because you don't actually care about it.
I hope so. And I have sort of said this before, but I did like try offer me stepping down and like letting someone else take the head, but then they wouldn't let me, and then half the public, like the VL public, wouldn't let me. I was like, okay, this ain't happening. I'll be here, and if I get pinged, I'm pretty quick to respond. It's just on general day-to-day stuff, more so. However, one of the things that I do is merchandise, and you'll be pleased to know that merchandise has been ordered. Things are being designed currently.
Nice. I should get around to reordering my shirt. As last time they sent me an extra small,
Nice.
which I can't quite fit into. It's nearly there, but
yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, new merch coming. I haven't seen any sneak peek designs yet. I sent the guy a mock-up of what I'm wanting. And I think if he comes back with anything even close to what I think it should be, I think we're in for a really nice treat.
Nice.
It will be different colours for those that care. My thought, like every time I do like a new merch thing, I want a new design. So it's like a drop. Do you know when Adidas do like new trainers and it's like those trainers? It's that collection. That's what I wanted.
No, that's a good idea. I like that.
So that's what we're going for. But yeah, looking forward to it. Can't wait for that to come out. Get to order some new clothes. Hopefully, I can try and persuade them to do like a baby size thing.
That'd be nice.
Let's see what I can get. But yeah, but what's new with your life? Nice. Tell us.
Not so much, I get to go home 2 weeks early over Christmas to back to Denmark, so I can quarantine and actually get to spend some time with my grandparents, which will be nice. Yeah, it does mean I have to miss the off season of VL, but Chime gets to jungle now, so she's happy.
Yeah, and I mean we discussed earlier on, but IRL definitely comes first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's good to hear.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen any of them since last Christmas, so it's been a long time. So that'll be very nice.
Do you often go back? Or is it very rare?
No, I do go back, obviously this year I haven't gone back at all because it's just been a massive pain to do, but normally during, for example, last year I probably went back Christmas, a week over summer, and then I had, a couple of different, my grandparents' gold anniversary, so that's 50 years, I think it was. Oh, they've been married, so I went back for that, and a couple of other big family occasions. So it's all 4 to 5 times a year normally.
Nice. Right, it does seem that practice is about to start, so I'm going to quickly throw the track rundown on, if I can turn off the transitions, just while we load in. So I'll do a quick, brief run through. So we are at the VinFast Vietnam Grand Prix, which is round 3 in Hanoi. It's, as we already discussed earlier on in the broadcast, it's a polarizing track. We do have, as you'd expect in Vietnam, pretty dry conditions, 26 degrees light. No rain, pretty much expected. It's a 3.4 mile long track, 23 turns, several DRS zones. I think that's 3 in total. And it's a really difficult track to really explain, but there's lots of straights, but it's quite narrow, and then lots of really strange turns that you wouldn't expect on a track that's mainly straights. So hopefully that makes sense. Why is that still saying Australian Grand Prix? I'll transition and I'll fix while we're waiting. I shouldn't say Australian.
Yeah, so for qualifying here, we have had 15 drivers turn up, which means that obviously the Q1 session is kind of moot. So I'm not too sure on what happens with that. Does it just wait out, or do people still run in it and just set a time?
So the past couple of weeks we've kind of skipped Q1 in various ways. The first week it was like very straightforward. We just skipped it, like everyone just backed out. But then last week we had issues, so we had to do like a lap and then go in and retire.
Oh, okay.
Cars are coming out, so presumably we're doing the latter, but we'll see. I'll get the old cameras going. And I do apologise, Ice, but I hate the broadcast camera. So we use TV pod quite a lot.
TV pod does look nicer from my point of view as well.
Yeah, I agree. So we do see Callie out in the old outlap on his softs. Again, I am expecting these drivers to go around pretty much once, back into the pits and then retire. But you get a feel for the track. You can see it's quite a narrow track. So we've got a long straight here, but it's not the widest of overtaking, especially when you've got those walls as well, so you can't really like clip over the side as you're overtaking.
Yeah. I was watching Callie do a couple of runs on this lap yesterday, I think, and it does feel like there's quite a few corners where it really does only become a one-line sort of corner. Mm-hmm. So, despite the fact there's a lot of long straights, it feels like a lot of those corners come at the end, especially around turn. No, I think that's turn 8, sort of 6, 7, 8, and 9. They're both, so 6 and 7 are just off a long straight, which is where you'd expect to see a lot of overtaking, but then that corner going into it is almost like a hairpin corner, so you really have to have your overtaking done early on that straight to, or you really risk crashing there.
Yeah, and you see now as we just see Callie go through them, you've got the S-bends, which are quite notorious from, I want to say Spa, I might be wrong. I really don't think it's Spa actually. Okay, so we don't see Callie going back into the pits. So it looks like we are just going to do the full Q1, maybe?
Maybe they're all just going to set one time. Seemed like Callie was just doing an outlap, and then they're going to set one time and then maybe come in.
Callie being held up by Blaze, so obviously not... Oh, Blaze hitting the wall! Callie losing the front plate. And there you go, you already see it. And Callie getting a grid penalty for that. Classic. You're already seeing the issues with this track. Let's go on to Shadow. So it's quite narrow. People do have difficulties with those walls. It's quite an unforgiving track, especially with simulation on. I will expect to see a lot of little minor collisions with those walls tomorrow.
Yeah. I would expect so. How does I haven't actually watched too much of the qualifying, so how does the grid penalty work in qualifying? Is it just that gets applied at the end of?
Yeah, so wherever he finishes, we'll add 5 to it. But judging from that, I'd imagine that'll get appealed. That was definitely Brandon hitting the wall and then hitting Callie.
Yeah.
But yeah, in usual circumstances, he would get that applied at the end of like qualifying. So if he gets 10th, he'll go to 15th.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we see Trav just trying to set a time. We'll see. We'll ride with Trav. He's quite experienced. See how he takes it.
Yeah. looking at one of the time trials he was doing a sort of 1:33.4-ish, I think he was setting, which seemed to be the fastest time, at least out of people on Callie's friends list when he was showing me.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Chairman ended up with 1:36. That time. So I do wonder if they are sort of going to set a one lap and then come in. Fly with a 1:43.
Yeah.
1:39, 1:41.
I wouldn't expect any of them to really push themselves here. There's no real much point. You just want to get through into Q2 safe and then you're good to go.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. So whilst we might see some of the more experienced drivers go a little bit more ham at it, you'd imagine the vast majority will just take it nice and steady. You see Trav really pushing it through these S-bends, for example.
Yeah. No, I thought Trav would be one of the ones taking it slow, especially with his, let's say, interesting approach last season in some of the qualifying races.
Yeah, they made a rule that if anyone's crawling, they get in trouble. Not to do no more.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it was causing too many issues. So they've kind of banned it, like a soft ban.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If it's causing issues, then you might as well get rid of it while it's fun.
Calm with a 1:35.2. Excellent time for Calm. Who hasn't set a time yet? Let's see how he drives. Let's go at Impress to impress his leg on the track. There's also, on that turn that Impress has just done, there's a big sausage curb, and I have seen people hit that wrong, and it completely fires them in the wrong direction. So you do have to handle that corner properly.
Yeah.
So we do see Fly going into the pits. I'm presuming we're going to see the rest, as I think that's Charman and Nerd going into the pits now. Yeah, it looks that way. So impressed with 1:37. Again, like, these aren't terrible times either. Like, I will expect them to be faster in Q3 as they really go for it, but they're still okay times. Like, Calm's 1:35.2, and if you're within a second of Calm, so these, like, top 5, for example, these are all respectable times, I'd say.
Times, yeah. I do expect Calm to be getting down to, in the final, sort of the low 1:34s, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's Calm at 1:32 probably. Like, man's crazy.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. You definitely expect the best out of him, right?
Yep.
Interesting that Stolben's done 2 laps out now. And same for Som.
Yeah. Maybe they're just trying to get in a little bit of last practice, you know?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, it'll be quite telling if we start seeing people retire. You can imagine that once they're in the pits, people will start retiring.
Yeah.
So that'll be the telling sign to watch out for.
Yeah, I guess maybe they're just making use of this time while Blaze and Callie are still trying to set their lap after their little collision.
Yeah, and we'll go on board with Blaze and see how he's handling it. He seemed to have like an early struggle as he came out of the pits. I do wonder if he was trying to give way to Callie. Oh! And he's scraping the wall again. Yeah,
that final corner, I think a lot of people are gonna struggle with because it's very hairpin, and especially on that right side tire, you're gonna get a lot of people really scraping up against it.
So I think he was trying to give way to Callie, but he overjudged the wall, I guess is the best way to put it. And had a little kiss with it. Yeah, some of the corners are deceptively difficult, and I think it's a reason why quite a lot of people don't like Hanoi. Like, I wouldn't say there's much redeeming of it. So as you say, even this straight here that's like ridiculously long, as you get towards like the bit where you're racing, you've got these little like turns here that we're just going through. It's like, well, that's not a straight shot. You've got to still control your car, and then by the time you've got onto this bit, you're then thinking about the massive break that you're about to do right here. As you see Flyer going off the track over there. Presumably he's spun out or he's just getting out of the way.
Could have just been getting out of the way. Didn't feel like he took enough speed off to get around the corner, so just went straight rather than.
And he has let the other two pass as well. I also think this part around here is going to be the one that might cause issues. Like those little tiny adjustments that people would have to make.
Yeah, especially if you're racing wheel to wheel there, it's very easy to just hit
So,
each
yeah.
other, and then
We start to see some retirements. So Trav and Nerd and Trevor both retired.
yeah, that is, and
Skull
then
Bend
that's
as well.
the racing point.
So yeah, as we said, we're pretty much going to skip Q1. I mean, we've done half of it, but at least we get a feel for the track before going into the actual proper racing times.
Yeah. So, what would your prediction be for sort of who do you expect to be the slowest 5 drivers here?
It's quite a difficult one. Judging by this performance so far, I think I've got to say Blaze is going to be in danger. Also, Flyer does tend to struggle with F1 2020 in general, and it's quite an often safe bet that he doesn't get into Q3.
Okay.
And then past that, I think it's quite open. Like, the bottom 5 that's sat there now is very easy people to pick.
Yeah.
As in, that's where they're at the minute, but they're also notoriously kind of coin flip on the old qualifying. Impress, I think he'll be in danger. He'll be that battle. And then I think the rest are kind of going to be alright. Depends with Cali. Depends which Cali turns up. Like, you see his time right there. But then another Cali, when the pressure comes on, usually bottles it.
Yeah. So I would have thought maybe someone like Wellesley. He only, from what I know, he only this season stepped up to F1, right? Yeah. So he's probably still quite new. Well, he did look very sort of battling at the top in F2, last year. Maybe doesn't have that experience some of the other drivers do.
I think Cradden's just missed the pit lane.
That's a possibility.
I think he's just completely missed the pit lane. So, we'll go back around with Cradden. Oh wait, no, Fire also going back around.
Yeah. Just a bit. Maybe people are just trying to get some practice in here.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. It's not unusual, especially if they add time through the week. This is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's such a free hit. As long as you don't wreck your car, you're going to go through. And if you wreck your car, I think you still go through. So, we should be alright.
Oh, okay, I was under the impression if you wrecked, that was you done.
Well, that's the case in real life, isn't it? But
yeah.
I'm fairly sure last week we had somebody who, like, crashed out but could have still qualified. I think it was Glenn. I think Glenn set a really good time, but got pipped and got put into 11th, so he didn't go to Q3. But had he not, then he would have. So maybe that was Prey was wrong, because Prey was saying that that's the case. But yeah, I'm unsure. But like you say, you just want to get around nice and safe. We do see Monty out as well on an outlap.
Yeah, maybe they've just decided between them as a group that if people want to use Q1 for some last minute practice there, no one's worried about that. At the end of the day, you're talking about sitting around waiting for an extra 8 minutes or so. So,
Cradden, again, just completely going by the pit lane, so presumably that is the case. Who's going to go out to the end of Q1 now? Flyer has now gone in. We'll see if Monty comes around. I must admit, that pit entrance is quite a difficult one to spot. Like, it's not the easiest.
Right on a corner, right? So.
Yeah, like, it looked like Monty just then had missed it, but he slowed right down as if he was looking for it.
Possibility, yeah. Seems like most people, though, are just starting to retire here. We're waiting on about, that's 8 people.
Half, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Cradden making everyone wait, as per usual.
Yeah. While we're waiting, I do just highly want to recommend, if you are interested in the league side of VL, go back and watch Cradden and Joe's cast from Thursday. That was an absolute banger of a cast.
Yeah, two really experienced casters that know how to emphasize the key moments and get the adrenaline pumping. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, especially also, it was they were casting both of their senior teams playing, so it was a game that had stake for both of them, which I think only ups their game as casters.
Absolutely, I agree, yeah. So if you look on the screen now, Cradden's about to go out of the pit lane, just on the left side there as he dives in. I think that's quite difficult to spot.
Yeah, definitely if you're coming around that corner really quick and you're not fully familiar with it, and you really don't have a lot of time to actually get in, it's very much you either go or you've missed it. Just once you start to turn that car on that corner, you can't really...
Exactly, yeah. And I think the boards kind of make it blend in. I'm just going to watch it again from Monty's perspective. As you come around here, so you can see it's slowed down a lot. It's kind of blended in, look.
Yeah, definitely. It's very easy to miss.
And I honestly do think Monty missed it the last time round.
Almost, yeah. You're probably right, especially with the way he slowed down off it.
Monty now leaving the session. So Somta's staying out. And Hodgson's also on an outlap. But yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks that when you're watching, you kind of grimacing when people are going close to the walls.
Yeah, especially on this simulation damage, you know. We saw that hit on, well, it was Cradden, Blaze and Callie hitting each other.
Mm-hmm.
That could easily just have been a wheel off for Callie. Or maybe not a full wheel off, but at least.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have just popped him completely. So, it just makes you, like, wince a little bit as it's happening. Especially because it's, like, it's such a... Like, I know you can get two cars comfortably down the side of each other, right? But you still look at, like, how confined it is. I think it's because of, like, where the bends are, the little tiny turns. It makes it seem so much more small, like, so much narrower than it is.
It really does. Especially if the, you know, people are still getting used to F1 2020. You will see people sort of maybe move across the track a little bit, and it is narrow that if you do have two people side by side, that is enough to cause some issues, you would think.
A little bit of a bump there as well.
Yeah.
We just see Santa comes into the pits here. We do see Cradden back out though. So looks like Cradden's not happy with his performance so far. Wants to get out again.
Yeah. He's going to have time for about... Yeah, his outlap and then one final timed lap.
So really going to push himself. And then Hodgson at the moment just coming around. Again, also looks like he's not too happy with his performance so far.
Yeah, maybe just the Ferrari drivers trying to push each other.
Yeah, it seems to be the case, isn't it? So we see Hodgson come around at a similar time as what he was already at. As close as possible you can get without being the same. Like that's 100,000, 10,000th of a second, presumably.
Yeah.
So, pretty close.
So who's actually on Ferrari? Because I can tell most of the other team colours apart, but both of the, so both Ferrari and the...
So it's Crad and Hodgson are the main seats, and then Glenn and Impress are the Alfa Romeos.
Oh, so yeah. They do have very similar colours though, so it's...
Yeah. They do indeed. It's like a very slightly darker tint.
Yeah,
I can understand why you don't always catch it. Especially with Impress retiring, so you can't see it this grayed out anyway.
Yeah. At least compared to, like, you look at something like Mercedes and Racing Point, that's massively different, or even Red Bull and the AlphaTauri.
Like very different colours, aren't they? But the yeah, I think it's so the Ferrari red is like the new red, but the burgundy that the Romeo have, that's the old Ferrari red, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the one they were racing on and using on the special livery in Monza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that darker red, like a burgundy. So yeah, we're just gonna see both. Hodgson, why have you gone in the pits there, lad? It'd be quicker just to go around. But yeah, he goes into the pits. Cardin gets round, gets the checkered flag. Just waiting on Hodgson to get into his pit, and he'll end from there. They'll have to wheel him back in. So we'll watch the little aesthetics that F1 2020 give us. There we go. Get in there, Hodgson. Get back in the cave, lad. Get the tyre wraps on. They're going to be banned in the next couple of years.
Are they?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh.
I heard a rumour. Well, I heard somebody say that it's definitely happening. As if, like, he actually knew. So, not entirely sure why.
No.
Yeah, apparently they're getting rid of the heat wrap things.
I'm not sure I like that, to be honest. I mean, I guess it, at the start, can cause more, like, crashes, for which, from a spectator point, are quite interesting, but
I just
feels
don't
like
know
if
if
you don't...
it's like a tactical thing or not. Like, I honestly don't know the actual reasoning. You can always speculate.
No.
Like, do teams that get that 1 degree extra because they leave them on longer than another team? So if a team gets told that they have to take them off while they're on the grid, and a team does it first, does that extra 1 degree that they get give them that much of an advantage? I mean, it's F1. We know that it's the finest margins.
Yeah.
So it's possible. So, not entirely sure. We see a lot of people swapping onto mediums in pretty much the entire grid so far.
Yeah.
Just Impress, Wellesley and Stolben still on the softs. Do you see some of the drivers coming out now? So that's going to be the Haas who comes out first, presumably Flyer. That is indeed Flyer.
Alright, so we have seen Impress also switch over to medium, so at the moment just Wellesley and Stolben, but obviously they haven't gone out yet, so they still have time to change.
Yeah, and I think we'd expect to see them on mediums to start with. It makes sense. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
Alright, so Stolben has actually gone out on the softs on his outlap.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe he feels he needs it. He's worried about being in that. Ooh. Bit of a slide there.
Yeah, it's a little bit, wasn't it? Bit understeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, so you might want to get out the pack. And equally, it could be I expect there to be a crash, so I'm going to get onto soft, so I can pit and get onto medium straight away. And then you can go soft, medium, soft as a strategy.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well.
So lots of things that go through these drivers' minds when they pit their tyres. Wells is now coming out, presumably on softs as well. Yeah, that is the case.
Yeah.
Still a few drivers in the pits. No, just Trav now. So yeah, we're going to ride on board with Flyer, so he's going to be the first to actually set a time. And then it'll be Callie, and then Somtha, maybe. No, Stolben.
It's going to be Stolben, I think.
Yeah. So Flyer, Callie, Stolben.
But Stolben has gone into the pits.
Maybe changing on to mediums.
Yeah, maybe that was just a oversight or a mistake. Bit of a yellow flag there?
Yeah, I think somebody just
slid a bit, yeah.
created some gap for himself as well, I think. Ooh, maybe not. Sontha's going really slow. That's not Sontha. Oh, it's still bending the pits. Ha! Okay, never mind. Oh, the Joycey blunder once again.
Yeah. Let's see. So he's just trying to wait for this gap after. I think is that Wellesley going around?
Yeah, he will be waiting for that gap.
Yeah, but Wellesley's slowing right down, but he is not giving.
So seeing Fly give it some beans down the old long straight into the speed trap. 207 miles an hour he got right there. So you can see that you can get that really high speed, but it's just not a racing line, really, is it?
No. Okay, who's that? So that would have been.
We do see Stolben in the pit still. He's on to mediums now, though.
Yeah.
Flyers approaching the final turns. So he comes round. Look at it. Oh, he gets collision with the wall, and there he's gone. Tire popped off.
Yeah. That's what we said. Like that final corner, obviously he hit it on the second to last corner, I guess you can call it. But
Yeah, and it's going to really impede Calm here because he has to go really narrow. There he does. And Calm with a 136.9, and there you go. I said Flyer, and Flyer's gone. And Brandon has to brake hard as well.
oh, that would have caused some.
And Chamanen hits him. Oh, and Sons has to dodge 3 cars. People not respecting the yellow flags. Hodgson having to dodge.
Yeah.
And Shadow having to dodge, and Shadow's gone as well. Oh, Shadow and Impress all gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Who's coming around now? Glenn. See if Glenn can do the dodging. Look at that start-finish line.
Yeah. Well, Glenn must have been told by his teammates now, right, that there's chaos in that final line. So that's why I'm surprised Shadow got called, because Charmander had already gone in. And they would be in the same call, you would assume.
Absolutely. We see Trav going with the fastest lap of 1:35.9, but judging by what's just happened, that's not any real surprise.
No.
Did Callie get a puncher? He did! well, Callie might be thanking his lucky stars, because he could have quite easily been branded in that situation.
Almost definitely.
So lots of incidents. 4 people already out. We will find out if this is the case, because if Callie and Stallman can't beat Shadow's time, Shadow will obviously be 10th. Yeah. And then we'll see if he's back in. So we talked about it in Q1, so maybe that's going to be the case. But I'd imagine a 1:39 is definitely beatable.
Well, both of them set faster times than that in the Q1 section, so...
Yeah, exactly. But like we said, one clip of these walls, and that could be the tyre popping. And one car like that, and you saw what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that's just people not respecting the yellow flags.
It does feel that way. Like, if there's a yellow flag coming up towards a notoriously difficult corner to take, and you're not near the end of the qualifying session, so there's no... You don't need to push for a time. Realistically, maybe you should slow down, but...
Yeah, absolutely. It just seemed like crazy that you see a yellow flag, you can look at your minimap very briefly and see it's on that last turn. There's a car sat there. It's obviously a flag for a reason. And like you saw Calm and Brandon both respect it and brake and go around, but then Charmander didn't. And then Charmander's car went smack in the middle.
Yeah. Actually, so I'm just looking into the VL Discord now. Most of them seem to be sitting in a... actually, no. They were before sitting in a call together, but now they're not. So they will have gone into their individual calls.
So, I mean, it's good to see that some people managed to avoid it. Kai's now onto the softs. Presumably he's a little bit worried that he's only got like pretty much 1 or 2 shots at this. So we'll see how we go with him. As he puts his DRS on, we'll see that he's opened the rear system. Foot flat to the floor, through the speed trap, into the hairpin. Interestingly enough, he does have Cradden right on his tail, which I know right now is an out lap, but Cradden is on a hot lap.
Yeah.
That's Wells retiring from the session. Presumably he's happy with his time.
Well, yeah, he's got 5 people below him, so he's no need to go for anything more, right?
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Although I still maintain that 1:37 is still not a super fast time. I was wrong, Cradden was going back in, so it was in lap.
Yeah.
But we see Kelly coming around now. There's a random tyre in the middle of the track. Kelly in the beans down the first straight. I think that turn's going to be a naughty turn 1 tomorrow. Like, there's lots of room to give, but because of how technically tight that turn is, I think people will try and hold.
Yeah, definitely see that. Yeah. So this is basically the most realistic straight there is, even though this other one is longer. But like you say, it's more curvy.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of understeer there.
Impress has left the session. Has he just crashed out?
Hadn't no.
No, he's not even on the track.
He crashed before. He crashed before.
Oh right, oh yeah, of course he did.
Well. Also see Calm retire.
We do, and that's a pretty risky place to retire because Call's got the beating of that time.
Well, no, because there are 5 people out. So obviously Shadow's out, Impress is out.
There's only 4 people out now.
4, yeah, but doesn't that so? If Canley goes above,
If he goes above Calm, then Calm's out.
oh yeah, true.
I think, unless Wellesley crashed out. Or we just missed it.
No, I'm pretty sure it said Wellesley retired.
Yeah, if they retire, they still if they crash, they still retire though. Oh, see Callie bumping the wall. Callie, there you go. Callie going to the top spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monty now moves below Calm, so I'm not entirely sure what's happening with it. It did this last week as well, so not 100%. Maybe Calm crashed out? Who knows? I'm not entirely sure, I'll be honest.
Nope.
But as it stands, Monty is in danger. Changing onto the softs in the pits, you'd imagine he's going to be coming out pretty soon. But yeah, really impressive from Callie to get the top spot right now. Even though he's on the softs, it's still an impressive time.
Yeah. Does mean he will have to start with the softs in tomorrow's race, but I think, especially just looking at what happened with Flyer there, like one person crashing out here will cause probably 1 or 2 more people to go with them. So
yeah,
it's
I think so too. Like I say, I think Hanoi definitely has potential to be the most DNFs we see in a single race of the L.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad idea to bet on a safety car here and just try and put yourself there.
We are seeing Monty starting to leave the pits now. So obviously feeling the heat, needs to get around and go.
Yep. He'll just about have time for an out lap here and then maybe 2 hot laps.
Yeah, you'd think he should have 2. Just.
Yeah.
He's going to be close. If he has a bad out lap, for example, you'll have 1. So he needs to get a shift on. He can't afford to really take this steady.
No. Realistically, he needs to come in, start that first hot lap at about 140 mark.
Yeah, just to give him a little bit of a breather. So it's down to this. Everyone else in the pits. If anyone else is going to come out now, they'll pretty much have 1 shot.
But no one else really needs to come out. The only one maybe would have been Calm, but like he says, he's retired, so...
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happening with Calm right there. The fact that he's a 136, but he's below Blaze and Stool. And Glenn, like, he's below quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure.
Could be similar to what happened to Crowden last race, where it just decided to add on 1 lap to him.
Yeah, possibly. Copy, if you're watching, can you try and explain what's happening here? Just so we understand. I know that you're usually pretty knowledgeable on it. So we see Monty coming around, he's got plenty of time. That random tyre still in the middle of the track. Chav's now retired. So, as you expect, a few of these drivers pretty comfortable where they are. So all rests on this Monty. Can you get a 137? Or even a 138.2. 138.3 low 3 will do.
He does not need a lot of improvement here to get better than Blaze or...
No, he doesn't. And that's it. I don't think any other driver's going to get around now. There's not enough time.
Nope.
So, the last driver on the track. The 1 shot to do it. Gets that DRS. Gets it open nice and early. Gets his foot flat. 207 miles per hour. Into the hairpin. And this way it starts to become make or break into the technical sector.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Did have a purple sector too, though.
Yeah. I thought that's looking good for him, at least.
Yeah, as long as he keeps it controlled and tight around the technical, he'll be absolutely fine. Needs to have a strong finish. He's looking pretty fast, though. A little bit of a lock up there. It's going to be close. And there he's done it. Absolutely smashes it. And Blaze into 11th spot. Blaze has gone out. But I don't think he's going to get it round in time. I think he's left this too late. I think he gambled and didn't win the gamble.
Yeah. Whereas, no, he does not. He has 30 seconds and he's barely into Sector 2 now.
Yeah.
No.
I think Blaze has messed up on the strategy here.
Yeah.
I think he thought he was comfortable. He panicked. And out he went.
Yeah, I guess, but if you're looking at that, you're looking at this barely a second and he's going onto the softer tyres. He really probably should have seen it coming earlier, but I guess he just was confident in himself.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And we do see the checkered flags come down for all but Monty. Monty having an extra shot at it, but he'll not need it.
No.
But there we have the confirmation that pretty much Blaze, Shadow, Impress, Charmander, and Flyer all go out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still unsure why Calm's 10th and Stolben's 9th.
I think it's just a bit of a visual bug because Calm realistically should actually be up in 7th.
Yeah, I think so too. So we are just going to see Monty coming around the final sector. So yeah, we just confirm once again that'll be Blaze, Shadow, Impress, Charmander, and Flyer.
Yeah. You have to feel for Charmander and Flyer, I guess. Like Charmander, you know, he is normally one of those faster racers up near the top 3-ish. So
he is indeed.
He'll be very unhappy about that, and especially with last week where I think he had a really unlucky race as well. And in week 1, I think it was, where he just got yeeted by the safety car.
Yeah, he's not had a great start to the season 4, has he?
No.
So we will be seeing Monty just starting to get wheeled back into his little hole, and that'll be the end of Q2. Which means that our top 10 will be Callie, Travis, Sonther, Monty, Cradden, Hodgson, Wellesley, Glenn, Stolbend, and Calm. Yeah,
Alright, so I'm just going to watch a clip here from Callie he posted.
I'm guessing this is Puncher?
Not from Callie, sorry, from Charmander.
Okay.
Oh, he got that yellow flag warning extremely, like basically as he's coming around the last corner.
Oof. Unfortunate then.
Yeah. Obviously, you can say he could have looked at the minimap, but if you're not getting a warning, you might not. You're trying to concentrate on your lap.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to have your eyes on there. You're going to concentrate on that hot lap, expecting no traffic. So, it is unfortunate, but those things do happen.
Codemasters. Coding more spaghetti than Riot, which I didn't think was possible, but...
Agreed. But we are going to go into the shootout now, so we will see all 10 drivers go into the softs, and we're going to see some fast times, I think. We saw 135.2s in Q1. I think we could definitely see 134s.
Yeah. So who's your money on here?
I normally just say Calm because it's like the easiest thing to say.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna
go Trav.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trav as well. I thought.
I mean, you can have Trav. I'll go with Calm.
All right.
Quite happily.
I trust him.
Calm's not here.
Has he retired?
Did he crash out and then he's just not got into 10th? He's gone in 10th and that's it. Okay, I'm definitely not going Calm anymore. I'll go Trav. Yeah, not entirely sure what's happened there.
That must have been what happened. I would love to get some clarification around what happened.
I do wonder if he got caught out by some of the debris, maybe.
Maybe. I do see Calm sitting in chat with both Monty and Callie on Silverback, so...
He just said Calm has joined at the bottom, but obviously there's only 9 cars, not 10. So, unfortunate as it is, I believe that'll confirm that Calm is 10th. And we do see Stolben keep hitting these walls. So I do fear for him a little bit. Smartly lets Trav overtake. I think that's a wise decision.
Alright, so they are saying that Calm got DNF'd, so maybe we just missed him.
Yeah, must have. Which would presumably be why it looks so strange. And so, in order to get into Q3, Brandon would have had to beat Calm's time. That makes a bit more sense. So, we are going to ride aboard with Trav as he's coming around to start his hot lap. But yeah, so confirmation that Calm will be starting in 10th, and then this will be our top 9. Trav sets off onto his first hot lap.
Yeah.
So pretty much gets 2 shots at this. So you want to make sure your first one's a good one. So we'll see how he does.
Yeah. Realistically, you would expect it probably to, at this point, be Trav and Cradden fighting for that pole position.
Yeah, I think it really opens it up for an unexpected person to get into the podium start. Such as like the likes of Callie, Wellesley maybe, even like a Glenn to get into that top 3. I think it would really be exciting to see that, and I think those drivers would be really proud of themselves.
Yeah, you could say Glenn was really sniffing for that top 3 position.
Yeah. No comment. He tells me off for it. I have many puns that I could make, but he doesn't watch it back, so it's no fun. It just feels like bullying at that point.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah,
Sad.
It just pass the time on very, very well. So Trav coming into the sector 3 now, the technical sector. He's looking pretty quick. Is he going to be quick enough?
Had a purple sector too, so...
Yeah, but he's the first car, so...
I thought it would go purple from like...
No, he gets purple on every sector.
Looking at the time from last.
It is one of those that tricks everyone. So you see it's the fastest lap with a 1:34.4 though! Yeah. I mean, it is the fastest lap! Wow, I did not expect that. Still then comes around with 1:37, that's not going to be quick enough.
Nope.
Callie coming around, he's going to be in the 1:34s. Oh, it's 1:35! It's close.
Yeah. So 1:34, I think, is actually what Trav set in his time trial as his PB as well. So that's a very good lap from
Very, very good. We're seeing Craddock come around now. He's looking a little slow. Looks like he's been possibly held up. So yeah, it's going to be a 1:35.7.
Yeah.
Hodgson with a 1:35 going into second place. Wells are coming around. Again, he's looking a little bit slow. He's going to manage to pick up that speed that he needs. But it's going to be 1:36. Yeah, 1:36.1. And Glenn coming around with a 1:35.9. I missed him sneak round. So it's getting competitive.
It really is.
They want to get round, get back in the pits, get the tyres off, get them back on, and go again. Whoa, I did not expect a 1:34.4.
No, that's a blistering fast pace, and at the moment, you know, everyone else pretty close within like 0.2, whatever, and then there's quite a big gap up to Trav from.
Yeah, 600ths of a second faster than Hodgson. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Sonther. He's going to line up. He's going to go for his fast lap now. He's going to have a clear run at it. There's no traffic. He's going to have to pull it out the bag. That's not a great turn 1. A little bit of a slow exit. Yeah, and you see him pull out of the bag. He's going to get anywhere near close to those times. Because that's some really exceptional top 5 times, really. We didn't see any 135s earlier on. Wait, did we? Yeah, we did.
No.
We saw Calm. Did we see Calm 135 too?
No, I think it was a 136 something.
Okay. But they're still really fast times for that top 5 in the 135s. It's really impressive. And again, I've said it earlier on, but he really does get a chance for someone who's not normally that top 3 spot to take it today.
Yeah.
So we see Xantha coming through Sector 2, using that ERS on the long straight, getting to 207 miles per hour, getting the breakdown, getting into the hairpin. Can he accelerate out and can he get going? So he's got a purple Sector 2. It's really good for him. A little bit of an oversteer onto the start of Sector 3. Into the tight technical part. Into the S's. He's looking pretty good. I think we're about to see a really tight Q3, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely looking like a very good lap, so... I'm around the corner here.
Very good lap. 135.6. Takes him into the 4th spot, moves Glenn into 6th, ran into 5th, and everyone else 1 spot further down. Look how close it's getting up in there.
Yeah. No, looking at that, I think Xantha thinks he can, like, he just needs that little bit of push, and then he can really actually put himself in that top 3 spot, which would be an amazing...
Absolutely.
Which would, I mean, yeah, both the Mercedes not here, so it would leave him as the top sort of Mercedes team driver.
I'm very impressed with himself if he could do that. So we are seeing Trav on his outlap, going to get round. And we're going to expect to see, once again, a good time. So notoriously you get... Oh, he's going into the pits again. Okay.
Wasn't happy.
I think he's just going to try and get rid of some of the fuel, making himself as light as possible.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to fully push himself at this moment, just wants to wait a bit and see.
Well, if he goes in the thing now, get some fresh tyres and go, he's going to have just enough time. As we see Callie invalidating, debating whether he should go in the pits, missed the turn in, presumably.
Yeah, it looks like he was debating very late, because it did look like he tried to turn.
Oh, no, wait, no, okay, is his outlap? I'm trolling you, sorry.
That's alright, I have no idea what's going on, I'm just following your lead.
Well, he doesn't normally invalidate on an outlap, because you start late because of the pit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said he was invalidated, and then he like slowed down and started wobbling, as you were pointing out. We were right on board with Callie. He was just creating a bit of a gap so he didn't have to have traffic in front of him. With a stall bend.
Yeah.
See what Callie's like. Gets a purple Sector 1 from Callie. That's really good. But don't forget, it's going to come down to that empty fuel tanks now and make yourself really light. Trav looks like he's just going to stay in the pits for the time being. Don't think he wants to go out again.
No, I think he's waiting to see what Callie does here.
Yeah, it's getting close to that time though. It's going to start trickling down, so if he's going to come out, he's going to have to come out in the next 20 seconds or so.
I think you can leave it maybe till about 2 minutes, but...
Yeah, possibly. It gets really tight, doesn't it? Give yourself much breathing room. So we see Callie into the Sector 3. He gets a purple Sector 2 now. That's 2 purple sectors. Back to back for Callie. He's looking fast.
If I was Trav here, I don't know if they have that information available to them, but if they do, you've seen those first 2 sectors, you would think Trav would be starting to think about coming out here.
Yeah, I think it'd be a smart move. So we see Callie coming around the final bend. Looks like he lost a little bit of pace there, but is it going to be 134? It's 134.5!
Whoa.
That's still really good though, and I think that'll pretty much cement a top 2 for Callie.
Yeah.
That's exceptional times.
Obviously, doesn't quite get that pole position, but I don't think he's going to be unhappy with himself for that. That's still a very quick time.
Absolutely. Now we're seeing Wellesley come into that Sector 3. But yeah, had Callie had a better Sector 3, I think he'd have had the fastest lap.
Yeah. So we are seeing Trav come out here. Maybe that time starting maybe just makes him worry about Hodge a bit.
Possibly, yeah. So we do see Wellesley approaching the final 2 turns. These turns really do add time on.
They really do.
The amount you have to slow down. So he's going to be pretty slow. Maybe a 136. Yeah, 136.2. 136.1, sorry. Monty coming around to set his time. He hasn't set one yet. And he's going to have to just go again if he wants to set 2. He's got plenty of ERS, just over 50%, so you'll have time. Lock up onto the second to last corner. That's going to hinder him. So you'd imagine he's going to be sat in 9th still. Oh no, he gets into 8th.
Yeah, he's just going to go for it again.
Yeah.
With a bit of lock up, so. He's barely below Wellesley, so he definitely feels like he can probably get above Wellesley, maybe even Glenn.
Stolpen into the pit, so he's satisfied. Glenn is out. Cradden's going to come around and have to avoid Glenn. Sees him nice and early, so not too much of an issue.
No. I do think Glenn isn't sitting in the racing line there, maybe?
Yeah, so it's like a slow approach as well, because it's after the corner, so it's not too bad. GC Hodge with a 135 flat pretty much, so it wasn't enough to get into the 134s.
No.
And I think Cradden's a little bit off the pace as well, maybe because of the Glen incident. But yeah, he's not going to get close.
No, this is... yeah.
And Wells is definitely not getting close. And Monty's invalidated.
So I guess it's only really Somfer left who can maybe...
Trav set a purple sector 1, so he's going to try and improve his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sontha possibly. So we're going back with Sontha. He's going to be the first to cross the line. But he is nearly 200 seconds slower on his last sector 2. So far, sorry, in his lap after sector 2. Which is not great for him. So I don't think he's going to improve. Maybe he just goes into the pits.
Yeah.
He does.
I think that...
And Monty's crashed out. Has Monty crashed out, or has he retired? He retired.
Probably retired. He invalidated his last lap, so...
He retired in the pit lane.
Yeah. So that does look like that's pretty much finished the lineup.
Yeah. Let's see if Trav can beat his time, but I don't think anyone's getting close. Hodgson is still out though. Trav coming around. Oh, it's just a little bit slower. Hodgson, is this your time to shine? Definitely not with a 136 into the final corner. Not enough time. So yeah, that's going to be the final spots. We're going to have Trav in first, Callie in second, Hodgson in third. So Callie doing really, really well today. Somper in fourth, again a really, really impressive performance. Cradden fifth, and I believe it was Glenn sixth. Stolpen seventh, Monty eighth, and Wellesley ninth. I'm trying to go from memory there. No, Stolpen ninth, Wellesley seventh. There you go. I got those two mixed around.
Yep.
So there is
Callie,
your top 9 for tomorrow.
Yeah. As a reminder, Callie does have that 5 grid penalty, but like we said, I think we'd both be very surprised if that doesn't get overturned on appeal.
Absolutely, yeah. Massively so. Right, let's jump back into the studio as my computer starts dinging at me. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us there. What really was an exciting qualifying session with lots of incidents. Normally we save those for the actual race, but today's session in Hanoi decided that we were going to do it in the qualifying session. Closing thoughts, Mr. Ice?
Yeah, very interesting qualifying. Actually, I don't normally tend to tune into the qualifying, but I thought that was a very exciting bit of qualifying. You know, the crash caused some of the maybe more favored drivers to go out in Q2, which left open a very intense sort of Q1, Q3 for those top 3 spots.
Yeah, it massively did. I think we're going to have a very, very dramatic race tomorrow, and I can't wait to see it. Hopefully you all tune in tomorrow to catch up with us. I look forward to seeing you all there. For now, I've been your host, Joyce. My co-host for the evening has been Isaro. And I will catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What seems like a simple corner at the starting line is potentially deadly.
Yeah, some of the turns are very unforgiving, and even though it looks like there's very long straights, there's little like bends in them, and it's I think we'll definitely see at least one safety car, if not more. I think one's a safe bet, two's probably a comfortable bet.
Yeah, I mean, if practice is anything to go by, I'd say that 4 is practically a safe bet.
Yeah, exactly. And the changes of 2020, I don't know if you know this, but if we get to 5 safety cars, it just stops coming out.
Right,
I've never seen that happen, but I know it's a thing that does happen.
I didn't know that. So for people who don't know, what happens if a safety car just stops coming out?
You have to dodge the wreckage pile.
You just have to dodge. Right. Okay. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. I knew that. I knew what that was. Obviously.
Yeah, you just have to dodge. Do your best. Right. I'm gonna go for a quick track rundown. I'll put this on here so you can actually see it until the game goes.
Yeah.
So we'll quickly let the transition load. But we are joined. It is round 3 of Hanoi, the Vietnam Grand Prix. And as I said yesterday, we would expect nice weather in Vietnam. It is 26 degrees, a light cloud, very dry, so no rain expected. And then we have a 3.4 mile long track, 23 turns. There are 3 DRS zones, and again, lots of these long straights that there's not a lot of action really because they're quite narrow. Lots of difficult turns. The technical sector in sector 3 can be quite tricky as well. So not the greatest, I'll be totally honest. So yeah, back in the studio. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I think people get caught out, especially those that haven't come to qualifying and seen the disaster.
Yeah.
One or two that might get caught out by it.
I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, you just look at the state of the grid. You know, you've got people like Callie, Hodgson, Sumther in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, where you would normally expect the likes of Flyer, Charmander, Calm to be. So I think a lot's going to ride on the start of the race, the first few laps for Jocelyn for positions. That's for sure.
Yeah, I fully agree. And like we pointed out on the cache yesterday, the practice, the qualifying sessions was extremely important for like determining where you're going to start, because this track is one of those that I think will catch people out on the earlier turns. There will be some wreckage happening. I think you want to get away from that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, it seems almost unforgiving, even in just in terms of trying to get overtakes and really trying to solidify any big leads in positions after those first few laps. Once everything calms down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And news just in, Flyer will not be attending, which means that everyone 16th and below will move up 1 spot.
It's unfortunate.
So yeah, Flyer, who's having a very difficult transition to 2020. We talk about this pretty much weekly now, but he's yet to... I don't think he's finished a race in VL yet in 2020.
Wow.
We are starting to ready up as well, so sorry to cut you about. We'll come back to this very shortly. Couchy, he is alive yet. I will just want to go run through the starting grid just before anything like major happens. So, if I pull this on so you can see it as well. So the starting grid for today, we've got Flycam 4K in the background. Trav first, Callie second. So really good from Callie, getting that penalty removed. Hodgson in third, Sumther in fourth. You can hear the little beep in the background as we're loading in. Cradden fifth, Glenn sixth. So exceptional work from the Fry boys. Wellesley 7th, Monty 8th. Oh, I forgot you don't know all the new teams, do you?
I don't know, this is interesting.
Big shake-up. Stillben 9th, Calm 10th, the captain of Haas.
Calm and Flyer, it's a power team.
I mean, it's not. Blaze 11th, Shadow off the 12th, because Flyer can't finish any races. Impress is 13th, Chairman and Nerd 14th. Thank you very much for doing this grid, by the way, Chairman and Nerd. 10th is actually in 15th, so everyone from 10 onwards will be 1 place lower. So Tez is 16th, Dan 17th. So these are people that didn't turn to qualifying. And Carlos 18th and Rock 19th, with that knowledge that Flyer is not attending.
I mean, you're right. I am behind on these new teams, but just taking a look, there's some really interesting developments. I mean, the likes of Charmander, Travis. I mean, what a team. Dan Callie is a strange one. I can't say that I would have necessarily expected very much from them, but it seems like Callie did fantastic for himself yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Dan was always a solid driver. He usually gets points. he doesn't turn up to qualifying again. He's another one of those. I will flip it to the in-game screen just before I forget to. So let's quickly transition. Transition going on. And we'll set the cameras up when it loads. So you see that we're just outside the pit lane, waiting for everyone to get ready. Everyone is actually on the track, but we'll be going to our formation lap first. Hopefully we don't have to have reloads and whatnot. Plenty of issues the past couple of weeks with this game. So to fill you in a couple of the drama situations so far, in week 1, Charman and Nerd got took out by the safety car. So
Wow.
Charman and Nerd was second, Khan was first. Khan was close to the safety car. It then like lagged, went behind Khan and just completely hit Charman and Nerd. Took him out of the race completely. Like, and I'm not even talking like he had to pit. I'm talking it smashed his car to bits. So,
that sounds like some drama, definitely.
Yeah. Last week was not as many DNFs. So the first week I think it was like 7. Last week there was about 4 or 5, I think, off the top of my head. Not too many incidents. Calm having a penalty. So he tried overtaking, went off the track, got a 3-second penalty, which meant that he had to. It was a drive-in penalty, meaning he had to do it in the pit lane, and that meant that he essentially lost pole position, couldn't get it back, and it really hindered his race.
That's unfortunate.
So he came second. Sorry, I'm just getting a little message to reply to. So that was weeks 1 and 2, basically. Connor's calling 6 DNFs. Yeah, I said yesterday this has the potential to be the highest of the calendar.
I mean, if there wasn't very much drama last week, it seems like there definitely could be this week. That's for sure. One thing to touch on, these tyre selections. Obviously, I know that not a lot of people turned up to qualifying, but the top 10 who did are mostly on mediums, except we see Monty, Wellesley, and Callie all having to start on those softs.
Yeah, and so that's why Callie did get in that top spot, so you can obviously see everyone around was in mediums. We did see a pretty fast time from Callie, to be fair. Oh no, wait, I'm trolling you. So yeah, he's in Q3 and we set the 10. But yeah, Callie's time was really quick. Travis just like insanely quick. But he did softs in Q2 to get to solidify himself. He would have probably got through on mediums. Not sure why. But I also said yesterday maybe they started on softs because he's expecting an early safety car and then he wants to get onto a medium pit straight away and go medium soft.
I assume that just didn't happen then.
No, as in like today there'll be a safety car.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's definitely possible. I mean I can't say that I've seen any of the races so far, but from the information I've got, this new vehicle damage system is just it's taken some people longer than others to adjust to, I suppose.
Absolutely. The thing is with Callie as well is if he can get to, let's say, 5 laps without a safety car, and then we see the safety car at the 5th lap, that's going to be really, really good for him in the fact that he can then pit mediums. So we are starting, so there's no reloads. Session starts in 7 seconds for those that are looking at the screen.
Impressive.
Connor, how many people finished in F2? So you're saying it's safe with a Kappa face?
Oh, alright, so it wasn't actually relatively safe.
No.
I assume that the Kappa means. I mean, what do you think the likelihood here is that someone just like bashes it right into a wall on the formation lap?
Last week we had
a little bit too hard.
3 drivers that had to. If you hit the wall if you hit at the wall or anything in formation lap, so I'll put it on this so you can see the track. If anyone hits anything, they just have to start with cold tires. They don't like DNF.
Right, okay, alright. I mean, I guess that it's not the end of the world then, but it's still not ideal, especially if you're up at the top of the grid here. You really want as much of a competitive advantage as you can, considering the caliber of drivers around you.
But yeah, last week we had 2 or 3 that had to like go straight to the grid. I think it was Impress and someone else. No, I think it was 2, yeah. Impress and someone else. But you can see, look, like, even though it's not a street circuit, look how tight it is.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, it seems like after kind of the jostling for position in the first few laps is done, kind of the bubbles you end up finding yourself in are going to be really hard to escape from. There does not look like very much maneuverability around here. I mean, maybe there's the potential for some mishaps on people taking corners incorrectly, and you can capitalise, but these straights don't offer very much opportunity.
Yeah, it's like you look at this here, and it's just like
What are you supposed to do?
death.
Yeah. I mean, you try overtake in this little kind of snake type area they're going through right now. I guarantee you've been in it into a wall.
I want to point this out. Look on your left hand side after this corner right now. That's the pit entrance right there. Look how disguised that is.
Wow.
We had several drivers yesterday missing that entrance.
Yeah, I can understand. I can't. If you hadn't have told me, I would have been inquiring as to where the pit entrance was. It seems like you missed like a whole chunk of track. You come out, you get to skip a whole corner, 2 whole corners actually. That seems so strange to me. I mean, obviously it's a pit lap, so you're going to come out of it slower, but I feel like there's some advantage to be gained there by even just getting rid of any risk factor by taking those 2 quite hefty corners.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's just such a strange, like, I don't know, so far the tracks that we've done this calendar, Australia's obviously a normal one.
Yeah, Australia's a fantastic track.
Last week, I think it was, I want to say Shanghai, I think I'm completely off with that. But that one's like a super weird pit entrance and exit. Like, it's similar to this one where you skip corners and just not great.
I mean, this whole track just seems...
Right, here we go. We're having the lights,
strange.
5 lights. And we're going to drive through penalty for Somtha, who clips Callie.
Right into the back of Callie.
And away we go.
Whoa,
He's going to drive his
is
speed
impressive.
off. I hate this, so I'm going to go back towards someone. We'll go with Hodgson. Right on board with the boy. He's just behind the front. Let's go further back. Oh, Somtha's been disqualified already.
That took no time at all. I was just about to ask you for some predictions on this first lap. I suppose we still can. There's already 1 down. I have 2 predictions for you. How many penalties and or disqualifications do you think we'll see in the first few laps? And also, we skipped our predictions on who we thought was going to be the dark horse and take the race.
Well, I'd imagine it's not going to be Somtha anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure.
We are seeing quite a bit of change of the grid. I don't know if that's just like people getting times and whatnot.
I think that it's that big chunk they're all sharing space at the back. I think they're all just edging in front, and as they take corners, obviously, technically the ground they still need to cover changes. It seems like they're all lining up a little bit more now.
Well, we do have a safety car for those that haven't spotted it.
Of course. What happened there with Somtha? It looked like he lagged and glitched into, or somebody glitched into him.
So, from that start, like, see, did he jump start? I think it was jumper's time, right?
It was, yeah. It was Somtha that jumped right to the back of Callie.
In week 1, Brandon had a very similar thing, and he sent like his perspective in, where on his screen the lights are out and he could go, and then on everyone else's screen the lights were out.
Right.
And so he jump starts, doesn't get a penalty, hits someone, but obviously something got a penalty this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like the penalty's really going to affect him here anyway. He didn't even make it through a quarter of a lap, so it's definitely not looking good for the pink team, which is not Haas, it's Racing Point.
Racing Point, yeah.
Racing Point, yeah. That seems like an unfortunate start for them. I've got to ask, who is Kerma Rogue? Is that somebody new
Dan.
or?
Dan.
It's right. Okay. Right.
Everyone you see here, you'll recognise from last season.
Right. Okay. No newcomers. Got it. Just some strange names.
So yeah, the only one that wasn't in was Wells. No, Shadow Hopper, I think.
Yeah. Shadow Hopper came up from F2, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
Yeah, I cast a few F2 races last season, and there were. I mean, I know the likes of whom we're looking at here, Stoolbend. There was another who spacing on the name, Monty as well, I believe, came up from F2, right?
Yeah, they got promoted midway through last season.
Yeah, I remember seeing them towards the end of the season in F1. But I mean, Everything seems calm, like seems to have calmed down now. Just the one DNF. Obviously, it's a long race to go still, but
just under the safety car, so you'd imagine would take it nice and steady at the moment.
yeah.
So who is your dark horse then?
I mean, I've got to be honest with you. If you'd have asked me before the race, it would have been a blind guess, but I guess it still is a blind guess. I suppose that it's not a dark horse, but Charmander starting so far back, I'd definitely be I'd be hedging my bets on seeing him at least make top 3 by the end of this race.
That's interesting.
What about
What
yourself?
I will point out is that Callie has just pitted onto the mediums. So as I said,
right,
those
okay.
softs,
The safety car, yeah.
No. So dark horse, someone I don't expect to do well, that wouldn't normally do well, but could today. Yeah, I'm gonna go Callie. I think Callie top 4.
All right, okay, fair play. I mean, he definitely set himself up for success with the little strap paying off. Maybe not quite as much as he might have liked, given that he only got the 1 lap out of them, but I suppose that it's 1 lap worth of tyre wear that everybody else doesn't get, if nothing else.
Yeah, a few others have pitted. Tezzy's gone on to softs. I think he started on, if you want to check, I think he started on mediums.
Yeah, Tezzy started. Oh, Tezzy was free, so but I fully presume that he started on mediums.
I think I can do this and check actually. Oh, maybe if I pause it and go, sorry for those that get annoyed at this, but I'm curious. So Callie is soft medium, Tezzy is soft, and the other two are medium.
Okay, fair play.
Somtha is disqualified from a severe collision with Callie, so presumably Callie during that pit also had a little bit of repair.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to ask whether Callie might have sustained damage from that false start from Somtha. From your response, I assume that he did.
Yeah, it seems to be. I will point out that it's not really a dark horse anymore, it's more expected, but Rock being top 5 is a pretty solid bet as well. He very often starts at the back and gets at least top 6.
I mean, that must make you wonder, what could he do if he was actually qualifying and got a decent position?
Well, that's it. Like, some of the times that he came last season, once he put the practice in, he was very often getting, like, you know, the top 2, top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I do remember there was a portion of time where Rock and Glyn both were practicing quite a lot and ended up making quite a lot of progress.
Yeah.
So
what I will do just while we're, cause I think we've got another lap of the safety car. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems it.
I think. I will just run you through the teams. So any notable changes. So we do have Trav, Charmander, and Red Bull still. Ferrari is now Impress Glyn, which was still the same. Hodgson as well, but they got Cradden in. So big transfer.
Seems good for them.
And then we have the AlphaTauri, which is Wellesley and Shadowhopper, which Wellesley's the captain, fairly sure. God, Glenn's also the captain of Ferrari, so you know that.
Wow, big step up for Glenn.
Yeah, so towards the end of last season, the Cooch basically stepped down. There's a lot of pressure to push him away, to be fair, but he stepped down and Glenn took over. And then for Haas, we have Calm and Fire, Calm being the captain. Renault, we have Tent and Monty, with Tent is the captain. The safety car's out. Let's go broadcast mode.
Oh, we're back on. And Monty trying to make some moves here, moving himself up into 3rd. That's pretty impressive for him. Taking over that spot from Wellesley. It was a good overtake. Everything else seems quite tame right now.
By the way. I hate broadcast so much.
It feels jarring to watch.
It's too close. Like,
yeah,
it needs to be like another 20 yard out.
Tezzy and Shadow swapping positions down there in 15th and 16th. Some shuffling going on at the back of the pack.
Rock making some good moves. Position gets back by Callie. But Rock, like this camera here, this is ideal. This height.
Yeah.
But then he just zooms in all the time. So there we go, we see them shooting up that long straight now where they can get some speed. So yeah, Rock is now Mercedes with Blaze. They're the 2 main spots there. And then McLaren is Tezzy and Carlos and Copy. There's like a 3-man thing that they're doing.
Oh, right. And do they? I presume that they sub out.
Yeah. So
Occasionally.
each roster could have 4. So you could have 2 project drivers, 2 main like top 10 drivers. Well, they took 3 top 10 with the fact that they knew that Carlos wouldn't be here all the time.
All right. Understandable.
Right, I'm going off this because it's driving me insane. Actually,
Yeah.
Actually watching that's making me feel sick. So
See.
these are the 2 closest battles, and then we do have the Billiams, which is Callie and Dan, and then Racing Point, which is still Ben Santha, and I believe that's them all.
Yeah, I think so. Travis pulling away here, making quite a lot of ground. Hodgson trying to keep up, but
Ten's having to pit. I believe there must have been some sort of incident.
yeah, I don't think that we quite caught it. But
No.
definitely unfortunate for him. See, like there seems to be quite a clear top 3 right now. Monty, Hodge, and Trav all kind of
Oh, you
getting
see
quite a
Rock
bit of space.
going on the
themselves.
inside.
Wow, an
He's
impressive
got the
push.
position. And this is what Rock can do. Quite a good overtake, nice and clean, nothing dangerous. And now he's going to
Can't say that he's
same
got
Charmer
an-
Nerd.
Yeah, I can't say he's got an easy task coming up now with Charmander Nerd being the one standing in his way, though. Known for being quite a decent driver over the past.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the changes to 2020, if you look in the bottom corner, they have an ERS button. He basically puts it on overtake. Why are we in yellow?
I'm not sure.
I just saw a sign for a safety car, but I don't see any.
I don't see any safety car though. I know the map has turned yellow, but there's no safety car warning on the top left, so I'm not particularly sure what's happening
So
there.
look on the screen, it's definitely a flash. Oh, VSC. We've got a VSC. So
Right.
some sort of incident. Not entirely sure what. Seems like we're all clear now, unless that's Shadow Hopper. No, yeah, looks like we're all clear.
Strange.
That's like really random, because I was watching the minimap as it happened. So yeah, if you look at the bottom corner, the ERS is like an overtake
Yeah.
button. You just turn it on, turn it off. So
Right.
lots of people going in the pits now, getting off their tyres, knowing that they get a little bit of an advantage.
I mean, I've got to say, I know that a lot of people were quite excited for the change over to 2020, but from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound like it's been a particularly smooth transition so far. Both in
there's a
people
lot of issues.
transitioning slowly and just the game having a lot of issues just in general.
So I am getting information from the Cooch. Oh, and these two in the pits now, they were in the incident. So Blaze and Glenn had a bit of a collision. And
Unfortunate.
yeah, that's what caused the VSC. So we are back racing. The VSC doesn't last as long as a safety car. But you're starting to see like what I mean about this track. It's very hazardous.
Yeah. I gotta say, 6 laps in and only 1 DNF though.
Yeah.
Do you know when
it's
abouts
like
the?
4.5 laps of safety car?
Well, yeah, true. When did the big collision happen in qualifying?
Like 5 minutes into Q2.
Right. Okay. Yikes. Okay. So, I mean, you would hope that people would have learned. It seems like they know the track's quite hazardous. Everyone's kind of on their toes a little bit, driving quite safely, staying away from the walls the best that they can.
Yeah. And we do see Calm overtaking Wellesley there. We'll try and
Which,
capture
I mean,
some of these battles, but right now Rock and Challenger seems to be like the one. Let's go and see what Tezzy
Yeah.
can do to crowd him on those softs. And is it just me, or is the weather starting to look a little bit overcast? Oh, we see a little bit of debris. Looks like that was from Cali.
Was that from Cali or Cradden? Ooh, and what was it? Was it a wing?
It looked like a front plate.
What happened? Maybe he'll have just gone over a bump too.
So
Quickly, I'm not
that's Rock going into the pit, so presumably it was Rock.
All right. Oh, okay. I guess we missed something in their battle. It's unfortunate for Rock. He was making quite good ground on Charmander Nerd there, it seemed.
Still been looking to make a move on Shadow. So
Trying his
we'll go on
best
board.
at least.
That's what he can do. And a
Whether
little bit
he's
of
gonna go late.
a wobbly drive right now.
Yeah, I wonder whether just going straight and following the racing lines would have done him better there. Seems like he lost a lot of his speed and momentum by swerving so much.
So we have now officially got DRS enabled. So we are going to see him open that little system right there, look. He puts his foot down. At the moment, Shadow is keeping the distance. Shadow looking to make a move on Dan, it seems.
quite a tight little battle. I feel like it's more of a battle between Dan and Shadow. I think both of them seem to just, like, yeah, Stillben's behind us, but not too much of an issue right now for them.
As long as Dan can keep Shadow at bay, it's going to mean that Shadow's always at danger. And it becomes a 3-man battle and slows all 3 down, really.
Callie getting overtaken by Cradden there further up the grid.
Yeah, and
Callie
we do see
not seem to be having a good time right now.
Shadow taking Dan from the position of Stillben, so let's go have a look at Callie, see if he can get any positions back.
Oh, he swapped that just as the overtake was happening between Dan and Shadow.
I'm a bit rusty on the old cameras today, I do apologise.
Oh, you're okay, don't worry.
To missing all the action. I was thinking about this yesterday, like, it's actually quite difficult if you think. I've just got to go off the numbers on the side. Oh,
Yeah.
we see tyre to tyre in the bend. Both are not yielding. Callie and Cradden. Tyre to tyre still in the bend.
Like Callie seems to have gotten the better of it though, taking the inside track on that last corner
Absolutely.
there, and I think he's pulled away.
Cradden being wise to it, and that's really good driving there from Callie.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of really brave driving from Callie, just trusting, one, himself not to mess up, and two, trusting that Cradden wasn't just going to DNF him right there and then.
We do see Chaminade in the pit, swapping into the soft, so presumably he's had a little bit of damage too. And then Calm's making the overtake on Monty, going down on the inside.
It's no different from last season. It's just really, really impressive driving. It's so much fun to watch Calm pull these maneuvers off. I mean, that's 2 places in 2 laps. The second those safety cars are out of the way, he just gets right to work, and he's all the way into 3rd from 10th place. It's a marvel, really.
So we do see both Mercedes drivers, and we are seeing Rock making the move. Blaze trying to defend his own team, shoving him out onto the wall.
Oh, that's disrespect at its finest. Clearly, the plan for this race wasn't quite clear between the 2 drivers.
And I'm fairly sure there'll be a communication right now. There'll be a call, and that could have been really disastrous for Rock. Blaze really squeezing him into that wall, and as we know, simulation damage. Rock hits it, he will lose a tyre, and then he'll lose the race. I come out of the race.
I mean, so Blaze is the captain of their team, right?
Rock's sending it down the inside now.
Wow.
On the outside, sorry, apologies.
Watching Rock pull off moves like that, it baffles me why Blaze would even try and defend the position. Arguably, all he's done there is held Rock back from gaining on Stillbend even closer.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. I would have thought he'd have just let him go. The teammates, he would have been nothing just to let him get over that overtake. It wouldn't be any like disastrous to Blaze.
Yeah.
It just seemed very.
And the only thing that I can think is that Blaze will have had the preferred racing plan between the 2 of them. If Blaze is the captain of that team, maybe given to himself by himself, even with Rock arguably being a better driver. But they got there in the end.
We do see Calm overtaking Hodgson, so I know it's not on camera. I was looking at the times.
It's to be expected. You can see him trying to. I mean, he's got a long way to go to catch up to Trav. He's definitely made a lot of time up. Trav's made the most of having no obstacles in his way.
And 10 retiring, crashing out in sector 3.
Yeah, I can see that just
and
down
there's
there.
the safety car. Is that a VSC? It looks like it's a VSC. No, it is a safety car.
Wow,
I really would hope
the
game would tell me, but there you go. We see the safety car coming out of the pits.
That is disaster for Travis. Knowing
even
Karma has made
even more disaster that we've just seen 2 drivers come out of the pits in Tezzy and I don't know the second one. There's definitely 2.
It was Charmander, right?
Charmander might have been, yeah. So 2 people just coming out of the pits just before that's happening. So they're going to be a great disadvantage now. I mean, they get to catch back up, but it's the track position that they've got.
Still not great, is it? It just feels awful. I mean, you see Travis and Calm, but most drivers actually entering the pits right now. But especially for Travis, they're making so much ground, knowing Calm was going to be on his tail eventually, and just losing it all like that.
So all these cars in the top 7 going into the pits so far. I wonder if Shadow will make it top 8. It is indeed. Would that make it top 9? Yep. Yeah.
It seems like just about everyone that didn't pit before is now pitting.
Rock and Blaze are going to double stack. This could be dangerous. Could lose a little bit of time here. We're seeing Wellesley stay out. He's only just pitted. So it was Wellesley and Tezzy who had just pitted. And everyone else in the pits. Tezzy is also avoiding it. So Wellesley and Tezzy getting those positions for the time being.
I mean, yeah, for the time being, but it really isn't the best effective use of the pit that they had just before. They'll have wanted way more from that than what they got.
Absolutely. And Tezzy now on the hards in the middle of that pack, still been 2. And then we also see Rock onto the hards and Blaze, Charmander Nerd. Looking to go the duration now.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the hards are going to last you 18 laps, and when you've got races like this that know they have the skill to pull it off on the hards, I reckon that it's okay. Maybe the likes of Stoolbend and Tezzy, perhaps we might need to maybe have to worry a little bit on whether they'll be able to make use of these hards as much as if they don't want for mediums, but I suppose we'll see.
We've definitely seen a shake-up of the grid. Like, these incidents really do cause a massive influx of change. And right now, it's quite hard to keep up with what's happening. But we are under the safety car, so the next foreseeable 2 laps, I guess, will be nice and steady. We are seeing Cradden and Wellesley overtake and undertaking.
I mean,
I think Wellesley had a little bit of a spin out there.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, I think so. It's unfortunate to see the likes of Charmander being all the way back in 16th. Obviously, the safety car offers the opportunity to catch back up, but all of the work that you'd put in to kind of gain those places is basically just undone by something that's out of your control. It's definitely not preferable.
Yeah,
I suppose
he had a very unfortunate qualifying session where the game gave him a very late yellow flag.
Yeah.
Didn't get into Q. Basically didn't get out of Q2, and then he having again incidents in the race. Not a great weekend for him, but again, not a great start to 2020 either. Like the season 4, lots of incidents, lots of unfortunate events.
I mean, it seems like it's been very, very clear the gap between essentially those kind of top 10 players and which ones have made the transition well and which ones are still struggling. Obviously, you see Calm and Trav still doing impressively well, but
at this point, I think I'm gonna start calling Charmander Nerd Neil Patrick Harris because he seems to be involved a lot with a series of unfortunate events. So, hope you enjoyed the TD's Link Charmander Nerd when you're watching that back. There you go.
I like that.
I was gonna go Jim Carrey for the original movie, but changed my mind.
So I think after that whole, I mean the safety car's still on, but after the whole shake-up, some of the important things to note is most of that work that Rock had put in has kind of been undone. You see Charmander Nerd as well. Callie seems to have actually benefited from this. He's made back the places that he'd given up to the likes of Rock earlier on.
So it definitely shakes it back up. Impress up into 5th, looking nice and strong, avoiding them incidents and really getting the benefit of that. Monty also be in 4th, nice and strong. And then
now it's just waiting for the safety car to go. So
I'm hoping I don't get caught out by it, so we will go with Trav and I will flip it to broadcast as soon as it goes green. Because I don't know if anyone's noticed from the viewership yet, but we are getting no notifications from the FIA, so it's just all guesswork right now.
Yep.
Would like to see a safety car glitch right now and hit Hodgson, that'd be pretty funny.
I noticed. I think that this is new, but it actually tells you how many laps the races have done on the specific tyres that they've changed to now.
Yeah, it's always done that, yeah.
I seem to not remember that being a thing before.
Yeah, it does. So yeah, I think safety car's in this lap, given by how much Travis is causing a gap here. So for those that don't know, safety car goes in and the front car starts us off as soon as he accelerates. Then the race starts again, but until he does, it's pretty much on his say-so. So you can see he's causing a massive pile-up behind him. So they're all going to be a little bit more disadvantaged, and he wants as much clear space as he can to go.
So I would imagine that this will be on this straight turn here.
Yeah,
he seems accelerating right around that corner. It was a good set off by him. He knows what he needs to do.
Suddenly just lost a wing. Like a ran up one.
Wow, right off the bat. That'll probably be a disadvantaged lap into another pit for whoever it was.
I'll see if there's any damage on there. So yeah, it's the side plate of his front wing. Looked like he hit the wall.
I think the best he'll be hoping for now is to just try and hold the likes of Callie and Tezzy up. I think that with the car disadvantaged like that, it seems likely that Cradden and Wellesley will take advantage.
We do see Rock gaining position, Monty losing position to Cradden,
Yeah.
to be expected, really.
Trying to hold on to it, and you see Wellesley and Callie as well, actually, just trying to really push up on his back end, trying to make the moves happen.
So you see them coming down the long straight. We are going to ride on board with Wellesley, who's looking to make a move on Monty with that damaged front wing.
We see again, I know that it isn't a city street, but these kind of like really thin straights just offer no room for kind of maneuverability at all. It seems like the drivers are really struggling with actually, a big battle between Shadowhopper and Glenn, swapping places quite a few times at the back end there in 13th and 14th.
Yeah, it seems that Glenn solidified that spot now with a 600-second lead. I was expecting Monty to be able to give this position, but he's holding it pretty well. But I thought he'd have struggled in the Sector 3. But Wellesley not able to capitalise on that damage. Let's see if Monty stays out. That's a brave
Wow,
decision.
okay, that's impressive. I can only assume that after being able to hold off all but one of the racers that were behind him, he must just be feeling confident enough to stay out.
Absolutely.
And maybe even try and make some ground up on Wellesley.
And maybe he's hoping that there's another safety car pretty soon. Get in the pits.
True. I mean, it seems like a strat that a lot of the racers are employing here with this type of track, holding out for safety cars and playing around them.
So you can see, for those that don't understand what happens with the front wing when it gets damaged, if you watch the lines Monty's taking, it's not a natural line. It's very much jagged and jolted, and that's because he doesn't have the downforce to turn the car as fast as he needs to. So he has to come off the acceleration, meaning that there's a lot more like jagged movement, I guess. Very like
essentially the turns just take a lot longer. You can't turn as tightly, so your car takes a lot wider swings whilst making the way around the corners. We see Calm regaining that second place over Hodgson just a moment ago, closing the gap very rapidly on Trav. You've got to imagine that with Calm on the softs and Trav on the mediums, that an overtake is due.
Yeah, quite
As they
possibly.
pull into P3.
So we do see Chaminade get the place over Shadowhopper. Blaze also, I believe, could double overtake there.
Seems unfortunate for Shadow, dropping all the way down from 14th after his battle with Glyn. Perhaps he took some car damage. I'm not too sure.
So we are going to see the battle at the top now. Those safety cars have really hurt Trav. Calm with the fastest lap on the soft tyres, and it's down to like a 400-second lead, whereas before it was like 6 seconds. So it's really hurt this lead. Calm looking to take advantage, using lots of ERS. Trav has lots more ERS left. Strong to know. So DRS now enabled for Calm. He's nice and open. But again, these straights just don't lend themselves to good overtakes. Trav using
not as much as you would hope.
DRS.
Maybe he can make some moves here on as they come out towards the end of Sector 2 in a moment. Hopefully, I think he'll be hoping to make some plays out on this next DRS zone.
So he's not going to have pretty much any ERS for it. So he's trying to make the move. He's going to have the DRS enabled. He's going to go on the inside.
Ooh. If he can make this corner,
Yeah, not the
that's
outside on the
impressive.
corner.
I don't think he can.
Goes wide.
He's being pushed.
Was he squeezing him?
Close. This is. I think he's gonna. I think he might have to give up the position.
He's on the inside though. He can defend it and force Trav wide. Okay, he gives it.
And he doesn't. Yeah. I think it was the smart decision. He knows he's got these kind of tight corners, and he just wants to be able to get the most speed out of these and wait for the next open opportunity.
Well, I said it earlier on, but I'll point out again. The longer these two battle, the closer Hodgson will seem to creep.
True. However, I can't say that I see Hodgson making any significant moves against Calm. Maybe Travis on those mediums after Calm presumably makes the overtake eventually. There's definitely room there.
Well, here's the thing that makes this even more impressive from Trav. He's on the medium compound, and Trav, he doesn't have the DRS that Calm has. So the fact that he's holding him off, pretty good.
It's impressive driving, that's to say the least. I think that if Trav does end up giving up this first place, he'll be kicking himself. Not for anything of his own doing, more just the really unfortunate mishaps with safety cars today.
Yeah, and what Cam needs to do is he needs to manage this ERS a lot better because he's going into these long straights with not enough ERS. So if we look quickly flick to Trav, he's got like 5 times more ERS pretty much at any point.
I think if you're calm here, potentially you just like you save any of the potential times you would have used your ERS before. You just kind of hold out and build some up. It seems like he's
got the corner
trying
exit
to make
better.
a move. That was an impressive take on that corner, but again, I mean, they're pulling into sector 3 here, and there just isn't much maneuverability after this corner they just took. It's a lot of kind of tight turns, keeping the speed up.
So do you see? I think that was Dan taking the move on Tezza. Let's just flip down. So Dan is in front of Tezzy now. Monty has fallen down. We've still got that damage on that front plate, as you can see right there. So the side plate is missing.
Still holding out for a safety car, I would assume.
Yeah, but he's just dropping position slowly but surely. Don't forget, it wasn't long ago that he was in front of Cradham.
True. At this point, you kind of just have to wonder whether it would even be worth going into the pits now.
There he goes. He's gone in.
So long. Yeah. Okay.
And I think that decision had to come sooner.
It did. I think that the gamble that he took on the safety car coming out just hasn't paid off, and it took him too long to realise that fact, which is unfortunate for him.
We also see Wells are going into the pits. So again, not sure if that's damage related or not.
We actually see Charmander has made quite some impressive progress since the last check-in that we had with him 2 or 3 laps ago, moving from 16th up to 12th.
We are going to see Calm see if he can do anything on this straight again, but again, Trav seems to have more ES. He does. It's getting lower though. It's getting lower.
It feels almost strange to see. Calm's being outdriven by Travesty almost here.
It seems so. So, Calm, basically, for those that aren't sure what's happened, Calm would have overtaken Hodgson, used a lot of ERS to get close and overtake, then make up the gap. By the time he gets the gap closed up, Trav is taking it nice and steady with the ERS. Calm has none left, so Trav can battle for a long time. So if you look at the ERS now, it's getting very close for both drivers.
And I think the fact that it's coming so close and they're still keeping this kind of close 1 and 2 position ultimately comes down to the difference in tyres.
Yeah,
the soft compound proving its worth here. It's debatable on whether it makes the next 12 laps or so, but at least for now, they're definitely doing their job.
So we're going to flip down. There's a sign to bunch up down here. So you've got Shadowhopper, Blaze, and Stallbend all starting to bunch. Chaminad's just pulled away a little bit. It's a bit of an interesting battle going on down here. All on hards as well. So no tyre advantage. We'll see if the Shadow can make anything happen. Should have the DRS, but so a few of the cars in front. Stallbend having to give the position to Blaze, but then stopped Shadowhopper.
Yeah.
Shadow goes on the inside on the corner.
I don't think it's going to pay off with the next right-hand turn, though. No,
it's not.
Good decision making by Stallbend to hand over the position to Blaze, which he knew he couldn't contest, but moving right back into his spot to hold off Shadowhopper. It was good, quick decision making from him.
Blaze is in the same spot that Stallbend was in, where he hasn't got DRS, but the other two do. So he might be in for a little bit of a toughie. Calm, they're making the move now. Can I get up there quick enough?
Oh, he's on the outside, but he will have the inside on this next turn, moving into track part 3. I forgot the words. I don't think he's got sector 3. Yeah, no, he's not made it. Trav holding on again. Really impressive driving by both of them.
Look at this bunch right here. Glenn, Dan, and Rock. Rock squeezing out and getting ahead.
Very, very close to disaster there for all 3 of them, must be said.
It was indeed.
Definitely making use of those kind of side view cameras that they have available to them to be able to see how far away from disaster they were.
So we are on board with Glenn right now.
Taking these corners in sector 3 really well. Doing the best he can, but it seems like Rock's gotten the better of him here.
Yeah, again, Rock, like I said, doesn't turn up qualifying, but just managed to climb these positions. It's a very safe bet.
It's really impressive to watch.
So, gonna go with Calm in the DRS zone now. Enables DRS again.
Just no ERS. How much ERS does Travesty have? Does Trav have? Do you want
it's
to double check?
Very close now. They're all...
Yeah, it's definitely getting close now. I think that it's. I think Trav knows as well. but holding on for this long with mediums into softs is impressive. I mean, it's just good ERS management, really.
But the thing is,
Especially-
Trav knows if he can delay Calm for as long as possible. Calm is on the softs. He can't go 10 more laps. Trav can go 10 laps on the mediums.
True.
Calm now taking the position. Is it? I saw this corner every time.
From the inside.
A little bit of a
Oh, and he
collision.
does edge out there.
That's it. Calm gets the
Yeah.
position. And that's what we were talking about, the ERS. When it finally came to the point where Calm had even amount, Travis couldn't defend it anymore.
I mean, it's not to take anything away from Travis though. You got to remember that Calm had DRS every single time that it was available, and
Absolutely.
Trav didn't have it at all. So it just kind of works even more in Trav's favor for how impressive his driving was there.
So here's the challenge for Calm now. He needs to get around as much as possible, as fast as he can, build up a massive gap, so he can get in a free pit, and then he can try and win the race. Can he do that in 9 laps? I'm unsure.
I mean, the other alternative is holding out for a safety car.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
But I mean, even then, Travis isn't going to be pitting, because I mean, why would he? He's got the legs on these mediums to go without too much disarray. I mean, he's definitely in the advantage here.
So we do see Impress in the pits, going on the softs, so you try and go on the end to them now.
Yeah, they'll last him the last 11 laps. I would assume.
We'll see Chairman and Dan battling.
Very close, but Dan just edging out ahead.
Makes more sense to be behind now, so you can get the DRS, so he enables it. Can he get in round? Let's go on board. Let's see the distance. So again, these straights, they deceptively look long, but they're just not long enough.
Yeah, they're a tease. They really are just a tease. There's just just not enough room. Just not enough.
Dan closed the door very well there.
Yeah, it was good driving by Dan to hold those corners.
And the thing is with Charman and Nerd, right there behind him is Tezzy.
True. I think that he knows that as well. He knows that whilst he's DRSing on Dan, Tezzy's also fighting for this position. They got so close there. But Charman and Nerd takes the inside, and I think as long as he drives this to the next corner well, I think that's him solidifying it.
Indeed, on those hards as well. Dan on the softs,
Yeah.
gonna have to pit eventually. Hodgson in the pits on those softs now, so that's the effect of having the softs at this point in the race.
You see Impress overtaking Blaze there. Those softs paying dividends as he's just out of the pits on fresh tyres.
Yeah. And he should be really eating Tezzy up alive at this point.
Yeah,
Get around, get the
he would
DRS.
quite try.
Plenty of ERS, so we do see Dan going in the pits, as we do see Glenn going in there. Rock up into 4th on the hards.
I think,
Let's have him
You know,
impressed. Get it down there, lad.
yeah, it's to be expected with the softs against hards. And actually, I think that Impress will. He knows that he'll last on these tyres. I reckon that he'll hold this advantage over the hard tyres for the rest of the race.
So Impress now looking to make a move on Charman and Nerd.
Activated his DRS. He has a lot of ERS to use. It's just whether he has the space.
And he has a purple Sector 1 as well.
Wow,
Really
yeah.
impressive driving.
And
Gets on the inside.
I think he's held it.
And
Wow.
he gets past.
Yeah, that was really impressive driving by Impress. Fantastic
Really,
stuff.
really, really clever driving. Get on the inside, defending it well.
I mean, the
Charman
sector
and
one
will have
was
DRS
the time
now.
as well.
But, Impress, why are you letting him have it? No, you've let him go.
Oh, just as they get to the corner, he's got that spot as they're pulling up to the turn, and I think he'll take the inside turn here. Yeah, he will. Wow.
Impress, you could have defended that. Just come across, shut the door, make him put a little bit of the lift on the acceleration, and all of a sudden you'll be fine. But yeah, there you go. There's your difference between an experienced driver and someone who's not so much experienced in the length of time, but in those battles.
Yeah, it clearly shows. Not to undervalue what Impress.
We see
managed to
Trav and
pull
Calm
off
in the
before,
pits at the same time.
but- Wow. I mean,
So
that
these two
is
both on the softs. Callie taking the pole position in mediums now.
baffling that Trav would give up that opportunity to make so much ground. He had mediums that would have lasted him the rest of the race, one would assume.
But he's Calm on
Unfortunate.
fresh softs against Trav on not fresh mediums? Does he want to? Is he risking the undercut?
Understandable. I think overall it's okay, but it has to be said as we reach kind of this back half of the race, 21 laps, got 7 to go. Not
And we
as
see
many.
Dan crashing out.
Just as I was in the middle of mentioning it, not very many DNFs this race, but wow, I must have cast a curse him.
And now here's the thing. Calm and
on
Trav
that
have just
turn.
pitted. And look at the track position they have given up.
Wow, they
But-
they will be kicking themselves.
But are the cars in
Cali
front
reaping
going to
the
pit?
benefits.
Is Cali and Rock going to pit? Because if they do,
You know,
Calm
I think-
in the front with softs.
I think at this point, I would just hold on. You know, not very long left to go on the race. Potentially, if I was Rock, then I would pit here.
And we're on
but, I
green.
mean, the safety,
It's not-
safety
it's a-
car's gone. Wow,
it's a
that was
VSC.
fast. So yeah, even if he wanted to pit, realistically, there's no time. So
So Calm now in prime position to eat a Rock on these hards.
as we see, Trav spent literally this entire race in first position, fighting so well, just down in 7th.
Yeah, it looks like he came out in traffic after his pit stop.
Yeah, these DNFs really shaking this race up for the worse. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, just as it was happening, I was just in the middle of saying that at this kind of back end of the race, we really haven't seen very many DNFs. I was made to eat my words, I suppose.
Yeah. So Calm getting
I
the
wonder what
position on Rock. Let's see if
Yeah.
Trav can do a similar thing on Impress. It's a
Softs
Red Bull
into hard.
sandwich. Trav is shutting that door. That's what Red Impress should have done 2 laps ago.
Just shut the door, stop them from advancing on you, and hold your position. It's yeah.
It's not dirty driving, you just come across, you do not let him have the track. You just say, nope, this is my space, you're not having it. So can Trav
See-
make the move?
Cradden making a position up on Tezzy, looking to push up on Trav now. I would assume.
Trav making the move on the long straight. He's going to come across and have DRS very shortly.
Just not
So
enough.
is Impress. Yeah, does this look like it's going to be enough?
Calm has made fantastic grounds on Cali here. Softs into mediums, understandable, but even still, it just continues to show his caliber of driving. There was a good 2-minute gap between them when Calm first
We're
overtook
seeing
Rock.
Hodgson taking a battle to Charman and Nerd. Charman spinning!
Oh!
He keeps it
Recovered
just about.
but I mean, at what cost?
Looks like you just got clipped a little bit there, I think.
That'll definitely be one being discussed in the driver's lounge after we're finished.
Calm with the fastest lap. Making the move.
Lap. Wow, it's to be expected. You know, fresh softs into worn mediums. But again, just impeccable driving as always from Cobb. It seems that the move to 2020, unlike his teammate, he has not been phased in the slightest.
So we do see Trav getting the position on the Impress. Impress right behind him though. Equal tyres, both pretty much new. Well, I say that, the softs are about half one now.
Yeah, 3 laps in, they've.
But Trav has 7.7 seconds to make up on Hodgson right now. And then past that, a further 3 seconds to get into the pole position.
It's a big ask.
Absolutely. Coming out in traffic after that
Right.
pit has really hurt him.
And you've got to be wondering just how much Trav is disappointed at the decision to pit. I understand that he wanted to hold first against Calm by matching the tyres, but just the gamble hasn't worked out in his favour. Cradden.
Couch, we don't check penalties. We like to have a little bit of a surprise. So Cradden getting the nice overtake on Impress.
Yeah, impressive. Impressive overtake on Impress. Trying to debris on the track.
That looked like it was a Haas play. Let's go and have a look at Calm. If we go on this one. There's nothing on the back. Yeah, so
Yeah.
nothing on the front
No,
either.
nothing on the front. Okay.
Not Hodgson either.
Wonder where it's from.
Yeah, it looks like he might have been there for a while then.
Yeah,
be
I mean,
Rock.
it
I mean,
could
it
be
looked-
the one.
It looked like
From Rock
burgundy-ish.
It could have been Rock's one from beforehand. He did. Was it Rock?
No, it is Rock's. It's Rock's side plate.
Oh,
Good call, Couch.
it is. Yeah. I wonder what happened there.
I think that was Trav with the fastest lap. He's making that time up on Rock now.
Definitely got to be feeling bad for Rock. Made all of this progress all the way up to 4th. 14 laps on the hards, surrounded by softs, with a missing plate. It could be detrimental in these last 4 laps.
It could indeed, and it's coming down to the wire again. So I know Calm's pretty much got a 2-second lead now, but the rest of the positions on that podium are up for grabs, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is definitely still room for Trav to make up here. I mean, that 7-second gap has gone all the way down to 3 here. It would not be out of the question to see him make up to that 3rd position.
Yeah, don't forget that 7 seconds to Hodge, so he's down to 5.5. So it's still impressive.
Yeah.
But remember that it's to Hodge.
I mean, obviously pole position is where you're aiming for, and it's definitely not the consolation prize that Travel have been wanting after such an amazing race to this point. But
yeah, you've got to question the strategy at this point. I think.
Yeah, he'll definitely be kicking himself for that one. Thinking, what if I'd have just not taken that pit and been settled for 2nd place?
So the rest of the grid pretty much spread out now. Not much DR in the light of DRS. Hodgson looking to make some sort of move on Cali. And these two battling, if he gets close, could really hold them up and give Trav a chance.
Yeah, and Cali's 14 lap mediums are definitely starting to show here. The softs, whilst it is 5 lap softs, they are definitely not fresh. They are putting on the works. Potentially enough ERS here for this next straight, but looks like he's trying.
Would you see Trav finally overtaking Rock just behind this?
I mean, we see Cradden with a 5-second 5-second gap behind Rock. I think that Rock will feel safe in these last few laps to just battle it and hold the position by holding the door. But
you'd hope so, but it's not to be underestimated, the damage. Glenn finally taking position on Wellesley, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's the back end of that grid is definitely.
Oh my God! Cali's really squeezing Hodgson into that wall.
That was aggressive.
Hodgson going for it again though, and Hodgson getting the position into the corner though. Cali's going to the inside. Oh, Cali really good defensive driving.
That was impressive. Cali really pushing Hodge to the edge there. That was playing with fire.
Here's the thing. These two battling like they are, Trav's now a 2nd behind Hodgson.
Not to mention the fact that there's still another 3 laps to go.
Yeah.
Like, if Hodge is getting that close with 3 laps left, Trav as well, it almost begs the question on whether Cali will hold a pole position at all by the end of this race.
Look at that. Calm with a nearly 5-second lead.
I think, as is expected for Calm, he's in his own little race now. Oh, and we see Trav trying to make the moves on Hodgson.
Yeah, he's looking on the inside.
That battle with Cali has really opened an opportunity for Trav here.
And Trav's sending it now on the straight. He's on the inside.
He's trying. It's just not enough.
Yeah, Hodgson using a lot of ERS to get back in front.
I mean, Trav the same though. A lot of ERS. I wonder how much ERS Cali has here though, because obviously
33, 15,
33.
And 15.
That's a lot. Actually, it's probably only about 2 laps. I think there is enough there to even it out, especially with him being on the mediums and also receiving no DRS due to the gap between him and Calm. Cali will definitely be sweating right now, as he has both of these.
Lots of time, lots of track left to race in.
Hodgson trying to make a move, but he's not quite going to get it before this corner. Cali's still holding that inside track.
Yeah, it feels like there's definitely going to be some sort of late last lap drama.
Yeah, a late last push, maybe even just a late lap DNF if they keep battling the way they are. I mean, I genuinely would not be surprised at this point to see a Hodgson and Cali DNF and Trav just rightfully reclaim his 2nd place. But remains to be seen as we move into the penultimate lap.
Trav sending it again. Hodgson getting squeezed in the sandwich now.
but not enough. Hodgson will still have the inside here.
He will, but Trav's going for it. He's going for it!
Trav! Wow.
Wheel to wheel in the corner. Go on, Trav, lad.
Let's go, Trav. That was impressive.
That's incredible. Well done.
Using Callie as basically a human meat shield against Hodgson.
And Hodgson getting the
take
position
the spot as well.
Callie as well. Wow.
And now it.
And
so,
oh, no, I thought Sonny just left. No, never mind.
so how much ERS is Trav on?
11, 6, and then 20.
Wow. I mean, now it just remains to be seen if Trav can hold the rightful second place that he has earned through this entire race, or if Hodgson will usurp him.
So that was incredible good driving there.
It was really, really impressive driving from everyone involved that's not named Callie.
Yeah, Trav disguising like the inside move on Hodgson to get the double overtake. Wow.
That's a clip right there. That's definitely one for the play of the week, if that were to be a thing.
And there we have, I believe, as Calm's coming round into his final lap now. Don't know why the interval timers have just died, but
Yeah.
I don't need them anyway.
Nor do I. We see. I don't know. I mean, there's not very much of a chance that Rock makes up ground on Callie. It seems unlikely that Callie will take that back from Hodge as well. So the only real battle left here to watch is between Trav and Hodgson.
I mean, Hodgson's now 2.5 seconds behind Trav.
Wow. Okay.
So
I guess that is
Rock
just the
and Callie,
epitome of a
maybe?
skill diff here. Yeah, potentially, but I just don't see it happening.
Oh! We see Weldy going.
Right. But he's still moving. Not DNF yet, but
Glenn into the 10th spot in that 1 point spot.
wow, Glenn has got to be feeling good about that. If he can just hold on here, just hold on and keep the points, it'll have been a very successful week for him, given the setbacks that everybody on the track has felt tonight.
Absolutely agree. And Rock's still defending that position from Cradden. Like, Cradden's still quite far away. So with that damage, he's still maintaining that 5th spot, which I said top 5.
True. And we see Calm moving into sector 3
And they're now battling. They're going side to side. Rock getting into 4th.
Wow.
And Callie,
On those hard.
disastrous
Callie
last 2 laps.
just...
Oh! Callie comes across and bops him.
filthy. That was dirty driving at its finest. Wow, well that'll definitely be a heated discussion at the end of the race. Couch in the chat with the "You're not Verstappen."
And Cradden getting the 5th spot with Rock, because Rock has had damage.
Wow,
Oh,
that
wow.
is a heartbreaker for sure.
Within that damage battle, we do see Calm confirmed as the race winner. Trav coming 2nd, Hodgson 3rd. Callie with a dirty 4th spot. Like, he definitely cleaned him out.
I really don't think that he'll be keeping that 4th spot after that.
That did seem
display.
questionable.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Trav must be very, very pleased. I think he kept his cool, kept his head on his shoulders even after all the setbacks, finding himself in 8th after all was said and done on those last 5 laps. Rightfully regaining the 2nd place that he earned. But Hodgson as well, I think Hodgson's had an incredibly impressive race here. I mean, starting around that 3rd place spot, actually starting in 3rd and finishing in 3rd, he held his spot the entire race just about. There was not very many times that he found himself falling behind.
Yeah, and
With
Rock does
as the
get
driver of the day.
he gets it because of where he started and where he ended.
Understandable. It was impressive
yeah.
driving.
But he gets it every week basically off the game. Unsure if he'll actually get a 1 hit in real life. So we do see the celebration with champagne.
Well deserved for Trav there on that 2nd spot. He's got to be feeling good about himself. All of the top 3 racers must be feeling good about themselves there. Hodgson holding on to his 3rd, Trav winning back his 2nd.
So I will just quickly go through on here for Cradden. plenty of incidents, lots of warnings, but I'll go and get them for you so you can pause and screenshot at any point, Credham. I do know that it is...
Good guy, Joycey.
It is, like, something that you do like me to do, even though you never DM me and say thank you. But, do anyway. And then, finally, we went to the pit stops again. I'm not sure you need the pit stop stuff, but I'll show you anyway. Look at that, 2.3 second pit stop.
Who had a 2.3 second pit
Oh,
stop?
maybe it was 2.5. 2.565, Trav.
Wow.
So,
is that the... Wait, that's the time that he spent in the pit?
Yep, that's why they changed the tyres.
Wow. Okay.
Right, let's transition back to the studio.
And discuss this race? Lightly, I suppose.
So,
What a doozy.
Really late drama. Callie having a really bad last 2 laps. And ultimately could have given himself a worse finish than he should have had.
Yeah, I mean,
if that gets sent in,
and it will be sent in. It will be a crime for it not to be. You've got to think whether taking the 5th place and just playing it safe would have been better off for him than potentially risking being, I don't know, out of the top 10. If a maximum penalty was to be given, it was, at least from my perspective, an extremely filthy play.
It definitely seems so, doesn't it?
It was, at least from where I was sitting, it ultimately seemed intentional. Whether that was or not is not for me to decide, but I'm sure that there will be a lot of drama in the racing lounge tonight.
I'm waiting for some to pop up, but as of yet, not too much.
But yeah.
We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for tonight's broadcast. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, Val, for joining me as well.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And hopefully, I still don't know the calendar, so next week it'll be a mystery. So tune in next week to have some probably Asian country, because I think they all come together in a little bunch. So, I don't know, let's say Thailand. We'll go to Thailand next week.
Good guess.
I have no idea, I do apologise. But join us next week, which I'm sure it'll be another doozy. Thank you very much, and good night.
Fantastic, thank you, good night.